Hey folks, Matt here with some improv insights and notes. Tomorrow we are going to work on pattern and persistence. And pattern used to be an intimidating word for me in improv because I always felt like I never recognized a pattern. And that's kind of scary. And then you're looking for a pattern in an improv scene. How are you supposed to do that, right? So, simplify it for you here. Pattern in this context is talking about a point of view, an opinion, an emotional state, a characteristic. And what we are going to do in this case is to bestow ourselves this before the scene or the exercise starts. I believe that experienced improvisers can find this and pick up on this second nature really quick. And as we're in the earlier days of our improv training, I think it's important for us to give ourselves that pattern or that point of view, characteristic, emotional state. So, for example, skeptical. Let's say you were on an improv stage with an improv troupe, and let's say you were feeling skeptical. You could walk into that scene and play that scene and be skeptical, and the persistence would be playing it all the way through. So no matter what your partner did to make you less skeptical, you're going to be skeptical about no matter what it is. And then not only that, we can play skeptical in a deeper context. Let's say your partner says you've just won the lottery. You can be really skeptical of that, skeptical of the taxes, all the other headache it's going to bring. But ultimately, to go deeper into skepticism, you could talk about how you're skeptical internally, how you're skeptical of whatever. Is there a God? What's the afterlife? And you can also explore how is the universe skeptical? So we go inward, we can go outward, we're playing the scene, and everything's skeptical. So the other thing I want to mention on this video is just about in my improv training, I wish I would have had a little bit more feedback and perspective from the teachers and the programs I went through. I went through West Side Comedy Theater program, fantastic theater, fantastic program, everything's great. When you get through a program or a thing, you're not really certified to do anything. In fact, I really didn't have much of an idea of what I was doing in the art of improv to begin with. Yeah, I picked up a couple skills and techniques here or there, but really, the really important aspects that make engaging improvisation I didn't have a clue about. Then I went through Second City's conservatory program. Same thing. Great teachers, great place, still had no clue coming out. And not only was I not given a context or feedback from the teachers about, hey, you're year one guy, year two guy, this is kind of what you're going through. This is what it's going to be like. You're going to get blah, 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 blah. I'm going to give you my perspective on that. But I actually had a teacher at Second City that was kind of critical of me, going like, hey, you're not getting it. Like, why would you do that? You're supposed to do this. And I'm like, and so then I did feel like the odd man out, like I wasn't getting it. Maybe I wasn't cut out for it. And that's totally not true, by the way. That's absolutely not the case. And I just persevered and kept going and have overcome a lot of that stuff. I'm sure if that teacher were to see me improvise now, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're getting it. You're doing the things. Yeah, you get it now." And as opposed to her at that time saying, "Hey, just keep working through it." So in terms of the other thing I want to say, so it is a long process. I was 2 improv programs in, and I was still anxious and clueless and felt like an outsider and felt like I didn't know what I was doing. And I was walking into improv scenes on a stage in front of an audience going, I'm really nervous and I have no clue here. My confidence was really low. And that's what improv brings out in us. Now, here's the thing. There's a whole host of benefits to that. If you are anxious, if you're uncertain, if you don't feel comfortable in your life, if you're put into a lot of scenarios where you don't feel good, improv is really helpful for you to overcome that. Improv is scary to begin with because we're afraid of being embarrassed, humiliated, and shamed. You're going to be. That's going to happen to you, and you are going to have to deal with that. You and your ego are going to have to deal with those wounds. But what happens is you'll realize that it's a false construct. It's not real. There's no reason for you to be embarrassed. And your body, your subconscious figures that out. So then you'll get to you just get to a different place where your fear of those things really starts to wane, and you become more present and more confident. It's awesome. And then also you're learning, down the road you learn the art of improv, where um, we get to explore theme, we get to explore character, we get to have fun playing it, and we give ourselves the license to do that. And it takes years, not only for us to give ourselves that license to do it, but to learn how to do it. Building those improv muscles takes a long time. So while we're becoming a great improv artist, we can also have some pretty major psychological transformations. It's not easy, it's painful, it takes a while. But I will say this, I do think the improv environment simulates and can take the things that you're feeling in your normal life and like help you. It's like fast forward through them. The more improv reps you do, the more you're processing it, and then the more comfortable you become with the uncomfortable. There it is. Hope to see you in class tomorrow. Cheers.